go ahead and start with yeah, there we go. Got to flip the timer.
An actual hourglass.
That's awesome.
Not that we keep it right at an hour, but we're just like, it's good to have a little guide for us because we're like, about an hour is good.
It's keeping you accountable.
Yeah, exactly.
We realized it was kind of a time portal.
These last two episodes, though, we've definitely ignored the thing and just went over.
Well, I can see if the temperature's right in here that you can just hang out.
Yeah, exactly.
And we got live music sometimes. I mean, it's great.
The lighting is calm, the blue effect, you know.
I might take a nap in here later.
Yeah,
That shirt
more than
looks
welcome
great
to.
Under that light, by the way.
It does. Hey, you know who made this for me? Was a really cool individual. Her name starts with a J.
Yep.
She also goes my Little Miss Red Puff and stuff.
Yep, that's
She
me.
does some tie-dye.
Yep.
Yeah, she made this.
Of course she did.
I did.
I know. I saw the ones you did for 119. I'm like, I'm not part of
The
a
mug
mug club, but I want one.
I have some extras, and I need to get on making them. So now the weather is right.
I think it can be arranged.
I think I might know someone.
Yep.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I love it.
Want to go around the horn?
Yeah. All right, guys. Welcome to the Parlor Sessions with Generation K. That would be Lazer Dragon.
Jaunty J.
We have cool names.
Little Red Puff and stuff.
I'm Alisa.
Excellent.
You can be whoever you want to be.
You are Alisa. Do you want a name though? We
Yeah,
can
I
always.
can always give you a
I want you to
nickname.
create one for me.
Oh,
Don't be intimidated.
Mine came from the nickname that Blaine always calls me.
You know what? It might have to come later in the episode. We might have to hear
You're
some
going to
stories
have to be
first,
inspired.
and
I
then-
think so. I love this
I
idea.
think so because
It'll come
off
to
the
us.
initial jump, I'm thinking like digital queen or media queen or something. But
okay.
that's not.
It
that's
doesn't
not
flow
just,
too much yet, but I feel it coming.
I feel like there's gonna be more there. The great Alisa Thayne
Yes.
of
Alisa
Thayne
Thayne.
Media.
Woo, woo, woo.
Pew, pew, pew.
If our audience listens in order, they actually already know a little bit about you, a little bit who you are
Yep.
on the Barney podcast.
It has.
Oh, no, Barney talked about me?
Yeah,
I
yep.
love Barney. He's the best.
You've been
He's
mentioned a
great.
few times, and then there was early on. I was like, we need to get Alyssa on. That would be really
Yeah.
good. You know, because we have all these music artists on, but what a lot of people don't see is the great work that goes in behind it to
Oh, man.
make
and it's a
videos,
lot.
do pictures, all that stuff. And we know one of the coolest cats who is running that in Dickson. So I felt like it had to happen. It was time.
Yep.
And that's why we're making it happen today.
I'm glad
Absolutely.
we did.
Yeah. So Thayne Media, how long have you been doing this now? Because it feels like you blew up kind of overnight with this thing, but I know you've put in some years behind this.
I have put in some years, but it also did kind of blow up overnight.
Yeah.
Because I've only lived here 4 years. I moved here from Northern California.
Oh, cool.
Moved here not knowing anybody, and I was a wedding and family photographer before then. So that was my niche. That's what I did. And when I moved here, I was like, okay, I got to build my clientele. I got to find families. I got to do weddings. And I actually met Parker Brand at the pool in Fairview. And you know how friendly he is.
That's so funny.
So, I mean, it was probably like a year into me living here. And so we got to talking. And he's like, I'm a songwriter. And I'm like, I'm a photographer. And he's like, I need somebody to shoot my album cover. And I said, sounds great. I could try that. Never done that before. That sounds great.
Cool.
And so, Zach and Parker just trusted me with whatever, and we did it, and we had the most amazing shoot down at Dickson Lake. Like, we put boards in the water. We made the illusion of them standing in the lake. It was really cool. And then there's cigars. Like, it was really cool.
Nice.
And then they just kind of invited me into the music scene in Dickson. So I got to know Barney and Michael Lisenby and just like everybody that started playing down there. And I started going to writers' rounds. People were inviting me to writers' rounds. Like, you need to go check out this and you need to go check out that. I'm like, sounds great. And so I just kind of slowly over the last couple of years just kept going to all these things. And then people just kept asking me to do things. And I'm like, sounds great. Like, let's just try it. I'm a big sucker for let's do new things. Like, let's do things scared. Let's do things you've never done before.
Yep.
And so when people ask me to do things, I'm like, sounds great. Let's do it. And so, it just kind of came into it. And I made a goal this last year to just say yes. Just say yes. Somebody gives you an opportunity, say yes.
Yep.
And so that's what I just started doing.
Sounds like her at a music festival.
Yeah.
I didn't say no to anything.
That's probably a different story that we're going to have to talk about.
A little bit, yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I just kept saying yes to opportunities, and then people show up in your DMs, people start calling you, people start referring you, and all of a sudden it's just, I feel like I'm kind of at a little overwhelming point, doing everything by myself. So this year is my year to scale, but also hire help and to do things that
That's great.
can't do or need help doing or anything like that. So
that's a great place. That's an awesome place to be when you're like, I need help and I can have help, and it's time to start looking that way.
Yeah,
it's great. Hey, when you shot Parker, was that your first time ever taking photos of a Sasquatch?
Yeah.
First time ever in
hold
photo.
still. Yeah.
I'm playing, but for those of you, Parker's not been on the show yet.
There's
he
a lot
will
of hair.
eventually be, but if he ever is, you'll see he's got a beard down. What, probably his belly button?
At least.
Oh, at least the braids.
Yeah,
at least.
the braids.
It's
at
that
least,
long.
Yeah.
He's a hairy individual. And now he says he's got a clean cut license that he was going to show me. I've yet to see it.
Oh, he does.
So,
I actually think I have a picture of it on my phone.
Oh.
I'll show it to you
Okay.
later.
Okay, I'd like to see what the man is behind all the hair and the
exists.
glasses.
I would love to see that. Yeah.
And he posts stuff sometimes, and people are like, "Is that him? Did that just happen? Who is that?"
These old photos.
It's like
this
you
guy?
and your badge at work
Oh, yeah.
Oh, is it
15
weird?
years ago.
My short hair, no beard, and glasses. Yeah.
Oh yeah, nobody would recognize you.
I've seen
Yeah.
a clean cut, proper Mr. Lazer Dragon.
Not
here.
with the short hair. I've never seen him with short hair.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
in person.
I
No,
feel like
only in
the one with
pictures.
him holding his baby.
Oh, that's right.
I
Yep.
feel
yeah.
like I saw that one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Holding little girl.
Mm-hmm.
You said that was her first Auburn game.
Yeah, it was.
That's a cute picture. We'll show that to you.
I want to see that
afterwards.
too. Yeah,
It was.
we'll do a picture.
She's 24 now,
Oh, of course.
so it's
Oh my
really
gosh.
cute.
So
I have a question.
yeah,
What
okay.
made you move to Dixon, or do you live in Dixon?
I live in Lyles.
Okay, so
I,
area.
I believe
even
the locals
more
call
obscure.
it Lyles.
Lyles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Laos.
I am not from the South. Yeah. I know. I'm like, Bonaqua. Okay. Let's do
Yeah.
this.
That's
Mocha
French, you
chocolate,
guys.
yeah. Bon
Oh, yeah.
appetit.
Straws.
the names crack me up.
I know.
Louis
Like these
Superfly.
Southern accent twists to everything. I'm like, okay, I can roll with that.
So how did you find this area west of Nashville, moving, somewhere that you didn't know, don't know people? I mean, I think it's a wonderful place. We chose it because we were in this general area for a long time in Nashville. And this was the direction we really liked being out here. But where did Dickson stand out on the map?
Do you want the long story or the short story?
Yeah, this is a long story.
Yeah,
Let's
long
hear it,
story's
yeah.
great.
I'll give you the long story.
Mile by mile.
I know, right? I kind of
I
technically
kind of like
actually.
that.
Yeah.
So the long story is that, we got kind of sick of California politics, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
We're in a city called Chico, Northern California. It's just a small little college town, but very well known for partying. And it was a wonderful town to raise my kids in. But, politics got in the way, fires got in the way, prices, taxes, gas, it was insane to live there,
Yeah.
basically. So we got to the point where we're like, we just need to move. There was a fire in the town next to us, in the town of Paradise, where we literally took in 80,000 evacuees into our town, in a matter of 12 hours. It was crazy. The
That's
whole town burned down.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that just changed a lot of things for a lot of people.
Sure.
And for us, we were just like, we're done. We just need to get out of here. So my sister and I and my two youngest boys, I have 4 boys, but my 2 youngest boys I had at home, we decided to just go on this road trip around the U.S. And because before that we were planning to travel the world, but then COVID happened and it was a whole thing and we couldn't travel. So we're like, well, they can't stop us from traveling the U.S. So we got in the car and we drove around for 4 months, all around the country, just seeing different states, and with the ulterior motive of let's find a new place to live.
Oh,
So
cool.
I mean, we had our list, but until you get somewhere, you don't really know. So
That's so cool.
we came into Franklin and we just got some to-go pasta at some place, and we went to Pinkerton Park and let the kids run around. And I turned to my sister and I just said, "We're supposed to move here. This is our home." And she's like, "Okay, let's sit in that for a minute." And so we walked around the park and we were just like, we're supposed to move here. This feels like home.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So we went back home to my parents and I just said, "Hey, we're moving to Tennessee. So if you guys, if you guys want to see your grandkids, come out with us."
Come visit, yeah.
Yeah. And so they literally, a few months later, bought plane tickets. They hadn't been out here before. They bought plane tickets and they came out for a week, and they literally put a deposit down on a house.
Wow.
When they got home, they
Wow.
said, "We got the house," and we packed up and moved out here a month later.
Wow,
That's amazing.
It was
Yeah.
boom, bam, bam. We didn't know anybody. I mean, it was just truly, it was God inspired. It really was. Like from step to step to step, it was, we were supposed to be here.
That's
so
amazing.
That
cool.
is truly amazing. That's so unheard of. Like in the sense of like the whole family picks up and goes in that way.
Oh, and we did.
A lot of people are just like, they feel too tied down or too scared or something like that. So that's truly amazing.
Well, that's one of the most challenging parts about moving.
Yeah.
Is leaving your loved ones behind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's always the challenge and figuring out how to make that work, and you know, the effort and money that go into traveling back and forth. I mean, that's definitely something that's challenging about moving away, even when it's for the best reasons. So that's really cool.
I feel like that says something about our little patch of paradise here in Tennessee too. Because I tell people all the time, I'm like, you just don't understand. Like, it is amazing out
It's
here.
so
Like,
beautiful out
from
here.
the people to the country to the. Oh yeah. I guess. We should
We
probably
don't want to
keep
tell
that a
too many
secret.
people.
Oh yeah, we hate it out here.
Yeah, it's
awful. It's trash.
Darn clear rivers and old forests. Yeah.
Yeah, we were actually funny enough. We did a cookout this past weekend in Blaine and Julie's backyard.
Nice. We call that
and-
barbecuing in California.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Barbecue,
So,
cookout. Yep.
we
Picnic.
literally
Yeah,
they
I'm
have
from the
they,
Northeast.
they
That's right.
have quite literally built an oasis back there.
No way.
So they have a creek, old growth trees, a big open area right in the middle
love it.
of like where it's like like a little bit of grass, but also like moss.
A lot of
and
moss.
everything.
We're down in a
Really,
little hollow. We call it Happy Hollow.
Oh, I'm coming over.
It's
Please
amazing.
do.
You should
Yeah.
see
Please
it.
do.
I'm just going to show up. It'll
The
be
house
weird,
is
but
still
I'll come
in
in.
need of lots and lots of repairs. It's about to be all renovated.
Yeah, but we never go in the house anyways. Wewe're
No,
always
there's
we're always
nothing
on
to see
there.
in there.
Yeah.
There's literally
In the
nothing to
house,
see
yeah.
in there. It's dark and old and
All the
all
fun
down.
happens outside anyway.
Yes,
And
exactly.
that's where we've put a lot of effort in, and it was overgrown, and we put in some concrete patios, and we have some covered areas. We have a tiny house, so you know the house part wasn't huge for us because we already had a house that we loved that were living in, and it's small, but we really wanted the outdoor space and the place to do all of that out there. We love to be outside.
Yeah.
And a barn.
Huge
carport.
shop
Yeah,
building.
it's good.
Now we got a new carport on the other side. Yeah.
That's
But-
awesome.
Yeah.
Pretty
Lots of garden beds,
amazing.
and it's kind of wild still, but it's a lot of fun.
That's what makes it Tennessee.
And sitting by the fire where the two creeks come together and hearing a waterfall as you're sitting by a fire, it's so great. It's
I'm
really,
so
really
coming
awesome.
over.
Yeah, you definitely have to
Yeah.
make that trip out.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We'll bring over the hot tub.
Yeah. Perfect. I love that. Yes. Absolutely. We can do
So-
that. I'll even fill it up for you.
With
Love it.
so you got started with Parker and J Mays, and then you been going to the ride arounds and kind of progressing out from there. You've been doing a lot of stuff in Nashville itself for some Nashville artists. So what eventually was the tipping point that got you driving into or going into Nashville for it? Was it the Riders Round or was it something else?
I think it started as the writers' rounds. Because the more you go to those, the more artists you meet. And I feel like everybody that shows up at the writers' rounds, they're ready to network.
Yeah.
Like they're ready to meet people. They're ready to see who they can help and who can help them. And everybody's just ready to meet everybody else in the industry.
Yeah.
Their
So-
trade show.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was like Key West, I mean, just you're ready to network and you're ready to just be there in the moment. So I think that helps a lot. And I did meet a lot of people through that. But then I got asked by a friend that I had met there to start shooting Grindhouse.
Okay.
And so I shot Grindhouse, which is a big writers round that they held at Live Oak for a long time. They don't have it there anymore. I think it's at 6th and Peabody right now. But yeah, I started shooting that. And then actually before that, I started shooting at Storytellers. Do you guys remember Storytellers?
I don't.
Yeah.
Over in Bon Aqua.
Yeah,
So
I have
it's Johnny
Storytellers.
Cash's
We've been there.
farm.
Yep.
Okay.
And he has a general store that was out there that was renovated. And Brian Oxley went in and bought it because it was all dilapidated and just totally destroyed. And so he went in and renovated the whole thing, made it into a music venue, and it was just, and he plays this video at the very beginning that just showed the renovation of it. And a video that they had of Johnny Cash and his birthday celebration that they had there. And I mean, you're crying through this
Yeah.
video. It's just
Yeah.
the most touching video, and it's historical and beautiful. And so Brian Oxley turned that and also the Storyteller's Farm, which is Johnny Cash's farm in Bonacqua. And he turned that
right
into a
around the
music
corner.
video. Yeah, it's literally like 5 minutes down from my house.
Okay.
And so Lindy and Kyle Majnarek, I know I'm going to butcher their last name, but Kyle and Lindy, best people ever. They were managing the property for Brian. And so they were running all these writers' rounds and concerts and stuff at Storytellers. And so I was started to shoot for them. Like anytime they had a big show or writers around there, I started shooting there with them. And it was great because it was just down the street from my house. And they had big people there, and it was great. And so I mean, that's really where I started doing it. And then to see what that was doing, I was like, I need to go see what they're doing in Nashville. If this is just what we're doing in the middle of the woods, right?
In Bonacqua, yeah.
Well,
in
and it's unique
Bonacqua.
because of Johnny Cash had his farm there. So I think there, and what we're learning is there's a lot of that in Dickson too. There's a lot of old and new singers and songwriters and music and creative people out here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there's so many. Like Dickson's a huge music scene when you really think about it.
Yeah.
It's a huge music scene.
Yeah.
And
It is.
I know it's going to get bigger from the people that are here and the people that are driving it. It's going to get huge.
Yeah.
People just need to find out that there's more music outside of Nashville.
Yeah.
And they will. Oh, they totally will.
There were people over at the brewery on Saturday that came out from Nashville. They were like, we just wanted to go and see what else, like what's around the perimeter. And it was awesome. It was really cool.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
the
they
first
wanna-
time they were like, we came out here from Nashville just
Yeah.
to come here.
They
or
don't
just-
want to go into town and pay the $50 parking
Who
and
wants to
the
do
high
that?
prices
Yeah.
of food.
Neither do I.
Get the same experience in a smaller town.
It reminds me of what East Nashville felt like when I moved to Nashville in the beginning of 2011.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
that kind of community, organic stuff happening.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Not
Yep.
created, not manufactured.
Yeah.
It was, it's very cool.
So all of that to say that I met Michael Farron at Storytellers. He's a huge songwriter for Curb Music. He played one of the Jesus in a Bar rounds at Storytellers, and so I met him. And then we met each other a couple years later at another writers round for Grindhouse, and he was like, "Hey, I'm starting this writers round. Can I have you come shoot it?" And I was like, "Yeah, you can. That sounds awesome." And so he started a writers round just this last year. It's been going for probably about a year and a half now, called the Bourbon Gospel, and that's at the Late Great, which is a speakeasy at the Virgin Hotel, and it's the best. I'm going to say this out loud: the best writers round in Nashville. So if you haven't been to it, you have to
I've
go
not.
to it.
Okay.
It's so good.
Cool.
It's free to go. You do have to get on the list though, because there is a limited space inside of there, but it's a complete vibe of just being down there and hearing people like Craig Campbell and Will Nance, and like, I mean, there's just like these huge songwriters going down there. Yeah, that are just amazing. So I think that really helped a lot to just be in that room, and the people that come to that room are epic people, iconic people, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, just hanging out after and networking is it's huge.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, if you've seen her photos on Thayne Media and everything, there's some really, really creative shoots there. Do you find that it tends to be more of you're providing the creative direction and doing the shoots, or that they provide it, or does it seem to be like a 50-50 thing when you're working with these artists? How does that tend to go?
Well, if it's a writer's round, it's more of a observe and document type
Right.
mindset when I go into
Capture.
that room. Yeah, because I don't have any director control. And sometimes it's really hard to get a lighting person or the sound guy, whoever's running the lighting, to actually make it lighting that's good for photography.
Yeah.
Because they want to put this magenta light on it, and it's honestly
Like
the worst.
like our
Like
thing
this
right
right here.
now.
This
yeah.
isn't bad. This
changes.
isn't bad. Yeah, but when they have a magenta light shining on your face, you can't edit that. Like
Right.
even changing that to a black and white photo, it messes with skin tone. It's just horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And I go in and I tell these sound guys all the time, I'm just like, can we just change it to like an amber light or a white light or a yellow light or something more close to their
Give
skin
me
tone?
30 seconds per writer.
Yeah, like let me just change
and
it.
Let
like
me know.
put whatever color you want behind them, but on their face, on their skin, can we just do something a little more natural? Some people will do it, some people don't. But the ones that do, I mean, it just makes the complete difference in the quality of a photo on the stage.
Right.
So yeah, like writers' rounds, it's mostly just I'm just documenting what is happening. It's very a journalistic point of view. I'm just an observer. But when I get into like artist photo shoots, those are my jam because then I can actually create with an artist
Right.
and be
Okay.
like, let's see what your brand is. Let's break down your brand and let's see what your new album is trying to say or your single is trying to say and how can we project this into an image.
Yeah.
And that is so much fun for me. I love that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, the more I get of those, the more I'm just like, let's create.
And you did
together.
quite a few when you were in Key West artist shoots, right? Like that's.
I just did one artist shoot.
Just one.
Mhm,
Okay.
Yeah, the other ones I was just taking pictures of
Documenting.
the songwriters. But I did one artist shoot with Brooke Lee on the beach. It was so cool. It was so cool. I mean, we only planned to spend like 30 minutes, but I think we were out there for like an hour. And I'm just like, oh, let's try this and let's try this. She's like, yes, let's do this. Let's do that.
The light is so great.
The light is perfect. I mean, we hit it right at sunset. And so any way you turn,
nice.
it's just
That golden
magical.
hour.
Yeah.
Yes. And Brooke is just so much fun because she's just like full of life and she just is ready to dance and party and do whatever. And I'm like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah, I
Let's
love
never
that.
stop doing this.
Exactly.
It was so much fun.
And so if I just saw this today, she is going to be shooting for CMA Fest.
Oh, cool.
Coming up. So big
Congratulations.
Awesome.
deal.
That's a big
Yeah.
deal. Yeah. That's
Do you
great.
have any artists shoot at CMA Fest, or if it's going to be more the documentary style?
It's more the documentary style. I am shooting one artist, but I'm not going to say who that is yet. And she hired me to come shoot for her performance.
Fun.
Do you want to know how I got all that
Yeah.
happening?
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
Definitely.
I'm like, these dominoes just keep happening. You just keep saying yes. You
That's
guys.
and that's what I'm doing. I'm kind of following the trail of
Yes.
dominoes, right? Because I'm like, I know a little bit about what you do, obviously, but I didn't know everything. So that's why I'm kind of like,
Yes.
let's tip over these dominoes and see,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
how you got to this.
And I don't usually share everything because I feel like it just happens so fast. I'm like,
Yeah.
what did happen? What? Like,
Right.
my
How did
head's
this
spinning.
happen?
Yeah,
Right.
my head is
Yeah.
spinning.
I find myself in this situation.
Yes.
Yeah.
So last year I had photographed Jay Allen at a farm to table benefit. And
Okay.
so there were some pictures that I took of him there that All Country News had contacted me and they said, we love this photo. We want to use it in our annual yearbook. And I said, that's great. And they said, we'll credit you and all the things. So I said, that's great. Totally use it. And so they did. And they sent me copies of the yearbook. And so it's really nice to see your photo published.
Sure.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. And so that was really cool. And they were just the sweetest people. And so I was like, you know what? Let's parlay this, you know, let's see where this goes. So I just reached out to him and I just said, hey, you know, I'm there because I think they're located in LA or Chicago or somewhere else. And I just said, I don't know if you have people here, but I would love to be your boots on the ground. You know, if there are shows that you want me to capture, artists you want me to capture, you know, just opening the door. And they said, that'd be great. And
Wow.
so they slowly just kind of gave me opportunities and concerts to go to. And they say, you know, we could use some content of this person. So here's a media pass for that. And like I went and shot Russell Dickerson lately. I'm trying to think of like, it's just been like one after another.
That's great.
And so it got to the point where they're just like, let's just partner with each other and we would like to add you to our team. And I was like, that sounds great. So I'm
Wow.
on the website and everything. Like I'm an official photographer for All
Beautiful.
Country News, which is so fun.
Very
And,
cool.
Shane Houston and Bobby Dickson are the people that I work with the most. And they usually come out by themselves to CMA Fest and work all the rooms and interviews and everything that happens. I mean, I hear it's just intense. I haven't been yet, so I'm kind of intimidated. I know what's about to happen next
It's
week.
wild. It's big. Yeah.
Yes. And so they were like, we're not able to come out at all this year. So do you want to take this on? And I was
Oh,
like,
wow.
let's do it. Let's say yes. Let's just go.
Yeah,
And so
absolutely.
they're like,
Yeah.
just tell us if you're overwhelmed. I'm like, I don't really care. Let's just go. You know? So they did give me a second shooter. So that's great. So I have my friend Ty Farrell coming out and he lives in Missouri and he's coming out for the 4 days with me. And so we're going to walk around together and just shoot down my itinerary of who I'm supposed to photograph
That's
and
amazing.
interview and all the things.
And here's the thing,
So-
I know you're gonna kill it because I've never met someone who's just so naturally vibrant and full of energy. I know you'll kill it.
Yeah.
That's not
Yeah.
that's not even a question in my head. So
Well, I feel like intimidation and fear get in the way of what you're supposed to do in life.
oh yeah, for sure.
Right? And we are so much more capable and competent than we give ourselves credit for. And until we get out of our own way, we're not living our full potential.
Yep.
Mhm.
So I am in the era of like, let's figure out what I'm capable of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
That's
just go.
great.
generally a whole lot more than you think you are.
Oh,
Yeah.
completely.
Yeah.
Completely. We all are, for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Very cool.
You've been quite capable lately doing these tie dye and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
she has.
Yeah, no, she got back from Resonate and was feeling
this happens
super
every time I go
inspired.
down to Swanee.
Yeah.
I come back and I like am super inspired. I always
yeah.
say it's like the wave of creativity because this place, oh my gosh, it's amazing.
Where's
Create-
that at?
It's in Live Oak, Florida.
Okay.
It's the Spirit of Swanee Music Park. And so we go to 1 to 2 festivals a year, definitely 1, sometimes 2 a year. We just got back. We brought Jacob there for the first time in October of last year,
Yeah.
back again. And it's just the most creative place, even at a smaller festival like we just got back from. And it's not the big production of almost a whole week of not just music, but art and 5 stages. I mean, much bigger festival. That it's like 20 to 25,000 people, I think. And then the one we were just at was 5,000, and they still have so much creativity and all the little details. And even outside of the festival that's being put on, you know, there was a silent disco put on by a campsite. I mean, that wasn't
Always
the
wanted
festival.
to witness one of those.
It's so
it's
much fun.
amazing.
Oh my gosh, it was great. And there were 3 different DJs and 3 different people. Like you say, you're dancing in 3 different songs. And
Wow.
I really liked being without the headphones and just walking around. And it was, first of all, it was quiet, which is one of the only places in the festival it was a little bit quiet. And they had beautiful art everywhere. And they called it Planet Zooton, so they had it look like a planet with giant mushrooms. It was cool.
Nice.
But it was like watching everybody interact and watch the whole thing happen. I really liked that, just observing and
feel
not
like that's
being able to
something-
have a conversation without yelling.
I feel like Michael Shepard would be totally in to
yes.
all of that.
100%. They're
So
coming
we're
with us
dragging
this year.
him. Yeah, that's what I was about to say. We're dragging him with us this
Yeah.
Halloween in
Excellent.
October. Yeah,
And that was just one camp that does that. And then there was another camp, and it's called the Bullshit Bar.
Yeah.
And it's a little bar that they all set up with a stage, and anybody can come. They just have a party one night, and you just have to find out about it
Yeah.
or wander upon it. And anyway, so the creativity at this place always gets me. And so I always come back and I'm like, completely don't care about normal life at all, even though I should. And then
You're still in the
I
zone.
do tie-dye like
Yeah, I need to make
for
sure.
a week
Yeah.
straight, like immediately. So I did some pretty good ones this past week. I like them. I had some different style of clothes, not just a regular t-shirt. I had already bought my goal was to do this before I went to the festival, but I didn't get to it. So they were already ready to go, soaked in soda ash, ready to tie-dye, but they were like tank tops, crop tops, a couple dresses.
Yeah.
And yeah, just came back and dyed them all in a couple days, and I've worn most of them already.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Oh, I
not wearing
can't-
one today.
I can't wait to see.
Yeah, I definitely will pull them out.
Yeah.
I gave an address to Anna Claire. I was like, this is obviously hers. It just looks like it should be on her. But it's very fun, and I get inspired by all the colors and different color combinations, and I try to make something I didn't see there.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff. So,
But you're
yeah.
pulling the vibe of the moment, you know?
Yeah. And the
into your
energy there
creation.
is it's overwhelming at times, but it's so positive, so creative. Everybody comes back. It's like the Swanee High, like for a week.
Wow.
It's really awesome.
Yeah.
You should definitely make your way down
I was
there.
going to say, yeah, if there's music, I'm there.
that's what I said. Maybe
it's a music park.
maybe
they've
we'll
been around
start
for a
shooting
long
some
time.
jam bands and some
There
EDM,
you
some
go.
EDM DJs
Oh,
and
I
stuff.
love
They're
EDM.
very small and independently run still. It's 800 acres of all the time campground, and they have an outfitters. They're on the Swanee River. It's a Blackwater River down there. Really, really beautiful part of Florida, like 20 minutes over the border from Georgia.
Oh, nice.
So it's easy day drive. I mean, it's a long day, but you can do it in a day. And they're very small business oriented. You know, they always ask on their Facebook and social media, who should we have at, you know, this coming up festival or next year? And they really listen. That's where they get their stuff from. And so, I mean, you could give them a call and say, hey, I want to come and be a photographer. How do I do that? How do I
Yeah,
get a
sign me
media
up.
pass at the next festival?
Yeah.
They will probably tell you it's great.
Yeah.
They have a
bet.
little church. People get married there.
Yeah, they have a little
Oh
chapel.
my
They have
gosh.
all
They
these
have all the
amazing
things,
buildings. They have a bat house, the largest bat population population
love
east of the
bats.
Mississippi.
They come out every night at sunset.
Yep.
I love
Cloud the
that.
sky.
There's
you
a
know.
bird sanctuary. All kinds of good stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I think this that bat house can hold up to 100,000 bats,
Yep.
and I think its current population is 75,000.
Yep.
How do you know that?
Because I looked it up.
Of course you did.
They have, and they'll tell you about it.
Let me have my statistics right for the
Right,
show.
right.
But all of the
well, I
all the
was just
security
really-
people, all of the door people, all of the beer people, they're all the same every year. I mean, there might be a couple different, but they definitely have full staff.
Well,
and
they have concerts going on there pretty much every weekend.
Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
local
you know,
music
at
for
least-
sure.
At least local
Yeah.
music concerts, sure.
But it
Yeah.
got started in the bluegrass world.
Yep.
That's where I was going
About
with
50,
it.
60 years ago.
Yeah, with the original
wow.
owners.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
And then, like, if that's the same people there all the time, then it's like you're going back and you're like, oh, I'm just going to go see my friends again.
Yes,
Mhm.
it feels
I
like
love
home.
that. Yeah.
Every time I go there now,
Yep.
it's been seven times we've been there since the first time we went in spring of 21,
Okay.
and
You know,
we can't
I met-
stop going back.
I
Yeah.
met a
Speaking
woman
of-
at the bullshit bar who said she was like in her 30s, and she was like, I've been going here since I was 7 years old with my family.
Yeah, it's a
What?
lot
Yeah.
of families
Yeah.
and old
That's
hippies,
amazing.
and yeah, it's very cool.
I was like, oh my God.
It's on the annual calendar.
So
Mhm.
I didn't mean to interrupt
No,
you
no,
there.
no,
What's
no.
up?
I was just going to say, speaking of, you had talked about your 4-month road trip during COVID. We
Yeah.
might have met y'all out on the road because we did the exact same
We
thing.
did
Did you
too.
really
We were
during
gone for
COVID?
3 months.
And
Yeah,
13,000 miles, yeah.
Nice.
we got
Oh,
married.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's where you got married, like
Yeah.
on
we
the
had
road?
we didn't plan on it.
Yeah.
I mean, we were already engaged, but we didn't plan on getting married. But
Yeah.
it happened.
Yeah,
in
we got-
I
Montana.
love that. I was
Very
going to say
Montana.
where?
In Montana, Bozeman, in a
Love
park.
Montana.
You've never talked about it on the show. I feel like you brought it up. We should probably tell that
Maybe
story.
we should talk about it.
Yeah, I was gonna say how much time we got.
We got plenty.
Um,
we got
so
plenty
the
yeah.
of
short or
time.
the long version?
So, well, and I loved hearing you say that. You're like, we just drove until we, and wandered around through
Yeah.
all these little towns, and we did the exact same thing. Once we knew, both of us have jobs in the corporate world that, we knew we weren't going back to any office. We weren't
Mhm.
really in an office to begin with.
Offices are lame.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
totally.
agreed. They're a waste of space. And so, especially now.
I've used that
And-
argument multiple times in the last few months.
Yes.
Um,
Well,
I hope it
it's
works.
succeeding. Yeah.
oh,
it's
yeah, I don't
succeeding.
go to the
yeah.
office still, so yeah.
So once we knew for sure, we had gone on like a week camping trip with our camper. We were lucky we had bought a camper in January of 2011
Oh,
or 2020.
Yeah.
And we, had no idea that the world was going to be shut down, and having a home on wheels is going to be so valuable.
Yeah.
So
And trendy.
yeah, very trendy. So we got in, got a good
We got
deal
in a
from
month
somebody we
ahead of
know
time. Yeah,
right
it was great.
before.
That's amazing.
It was awesome. And so we had taken a couple camping trips and we worked, and we were like, we feel like we could do this. Maybe we should go on a longer trip, like, and just work the whole time.
just not come home.
And so
Pretty
we
much.
did, and we thought we'd be gone maybe a month or so.
Mhm.
We didn't have an end date. But we knew we were going to at least go from here in Tennessee all the way to the UP of Michigan to Lake Superior
Mhm.
and go
This
from
is in late
figure it out.
summer, early fall, yeah.
Yeah, we decided this end of August. We left third week of September, third and a half. I
Middle
don't
of
know.
September, yeah.
And we went straight up, and we went to the through Michigan, UP of Michigan, and because we were working the whole time, we kind of had to only move like 2 days a week. And
Okay.
because of the times you can check in and out, so we would move on like a Wednesday or so, a little bit,
Mhm.
just in the evening, and then we would move on a Friday or Saturday
Mhm.
a little bit longer and get some miles under us. But we got a chance to be in these small little towns that really we wouldn't have stopped in and stayed in if it
Mhm.
weren't for having to be in one
Hard to
place.
camper.
And work, yeah.
Yeah, and we were a little bit tied to the signal, which I hated. I hated
Right.
that, but it was cool because we did see some of the actual little towns we may not have even gone into.
And we upgraded to cellular boosters and
Oh yeah,
all these,
we had lots of upgrades on the
all
road.
these things.
We broke some things on the
Yeah,
road we had to
broke a lot of
fix.
things,
Yeah. We broke a sway bar on the camper going across the Mackinac Bridge from Lower Michigan to the UP that
Okay.
crosses over the
Talk
big.
about getting puckered. Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah, the speed limit is 20
Ew.
because it's that windy and that high, and so the speed limit's only like 45 normally, but for anything with a trailer that day, it was 20.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
And
Anyway,
it broke stuff. at
it did
20.
break, yeah. And so The wind was intense. So then we drove all the way across the northernmost route of the U.S.,
Okay.
Route 2, until we were kind of like a week in front of winter, and then it caught up with us in Montana, and we had to go and dip into Idaho for a little bit. We went to Yellowstone during that time, and then we came back up into Montana a week and a half later when it wasn't like a blizzard.
Yeah.
And we got some chains for the tires and that kind of stuff. We had to go and get prepared.
I learned how to drive on the snow.
We went all the way up to
Southern
Glacier.
boy, you
Yeah.
know,
Gosh.
Yeah,
Did you guys spend time in Yellowstone?
Yep.
yes.
Yellowstone.
Glacier.
Beautiful national
yes.
park.
And we also, for Christmas that year, I think your brother got us the national park like passport
the
thing.
pass, yeah.
Yep.
So we had like that was kind of our goals in terms of the regions we went to, is going to as many as we could.
Yeah,
and
that's
we
what
went
we
to
did
a
too.
lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
we
it was
went-
amazing.
Yeah, we went all the way out to Washington to go see them, and
And the new baby.
and the new
Yeah, they had a new baby in
Seattle.
July.
Yeah,
And then we kind of started making our way back, and yeah, it was amazing. We had the most fun. It was me and Blaine and the dog and the cat.
we did a whole bunch of Utah, and dropped the camper
Mm-hmm.
off, and we have this old '99 4Runner with 350,000 miles on it that we were pulling this camper
Yeah,
up,
you did.
taking it through Moab.
I was gonna say,
we
did you do
climbed
Bryce
we
and
climbed the
Zion?
Escalante
We did not get to
staircase.
Bryce and Zion, but we did the other
You did
three.
Moab. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we did
Moab.
Moab. We did
And
Capitol Reef.
We did Arches,
Okay.
Capitol Reef.
Capitol
and,
Reef was amazing.
I haven't been to that one.
Oh my
Those-
gosh.
those
That's my
have one.
favorite.
Arches, Capitol Reef, and
shoot.
Canyonlands.
Canyonlands, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Utah's incredible.
Crazy.
Oh my
incredible.
gosh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Idaho's also, I loved
Yes.
Idaho as well.
Idaho, you just can't get to half of it because
Yeah.
There's no
there,
roads.
there are no roads.
Yeah, the wilderness is pretty
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
So
But-
where did you guys get married in Montana? Like, did you just like
In Bozeman.
Vegas style it? Like, find a little church somewhere? Or what'd you
That's
do?
a good story.
Yeah, it is a good story. So we had talked about like, oh, maybe if we find somewhere that seems right and cool, maybe we'll, get married somewhere cool. Because
Yeah.
we didn't necessarily want to wait that long. We'd both been married before, and this was really about us. It
Yeah.
wasn't about waiting on everybody.
No.
And
Weddings are stupid.
yeah,
I
I had
can
a great
say
time
that.
at my first one. It was awesome, but like definitely don't need to waste money like that
No.
again. And worry about all of those little things. So
It's definitely but just about you guys.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so I was like,
So
well,
we got to drinking for lunch one day.
Well,
How every good story
I
starts.
knew that
Yeah.
I knew that Montana, I had already looked up which states was like easy to do that because we decided this while we're already on the road. We're like, oh, maybe we should get married while we're out doing something cool. And then I was like, well, let's at least look to see which places it's easy to
I think
do. We
even-
have
I
the
think we even had
documents.
a little wedding outfit each. Which,
Oh, okay.
Which we didn't wind up using.
No, we did not. Well, we had like one little, we did have like one little outfit, but we weren't going south.
Yeah.
And it was
cold.
Yeah, it was cold. But yeah, I got married in my hiking boots, which was even better.
Oh, I love that. It's like a theme wedding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was great. It was under a tree. So anyway, so Montana was easy. And we were in Bozeman. We were going to be there for like 4 days or 5 days, 4 nights, I think. So it was enough time to probably figure that out on a day we didn't have a lot to do at work.
Yeah.
Because we're working on the computers most of the day. So we go down and we got the license.
The more west we went, the earlier we had to work because we're East Coast and Central,
So
right?
we
so
knew
we
we
had
had-
to stay in those time zones work-wise, but we were not there.
Yeah, so we'd have half the afternoon. By the time we got to the West Coast, we had half the afternoon off.
Yeah.
And we could go and do stuff, even
Anyway,
though it was a long day.
I love how it just became like a scheduling thing.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, kind
oh,
of.
we got a lunch break between here and here. Let's just go
Exactly.
get it done.
So we went to the courthouse on the lunch break. We both had like 2.5 hours open-ish. So we go there and we got the license, but they didn't have any appointments because everybody was going to the courthouse to get married.
Yep.
So it was like
During COVID.
months out.
Do you remember the 3 questions they asked to get the license?
I think, are we related? Is
Are
either
you
one of you being
related?
forced to
Are
do
you being
this?
coerced to
And
do
are
this?
either of you married right now?
Or no, or are you brother and sister? They didn't care if we were already
Wow.
married. It
Oh,
was,
true.
Are you related? Yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
That's
Are we
so
related?
funny.
Right.
that's it.
It was pretty
These
easy.
are the only important questions we need to ask.
But in Montana, a notary public can marry you. So
Oh.
I was like, well, that's cool. Like we didn't have to worry about a church or
Right.
any of that. And so I called this guy and he was like, I technically can marry you, but I've never performed a ceremony. So you should call this person. So I called her and Reverend Frida just so happened to be coming down to Costco because she lives up on top of the mountain,
Bridger Mountain.
And she was going to Costco because they were going to get a blizzard, so they weren't coming down for another 2 weeks. So she was in Bozeman. 30 minutes later, we're under a tree, get married.
Wow.
In the park, yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
And
To
it
a-
is an
to
incredibly
Apache-
cute photo.
To an
Yes, I was
Apache
gonna say
wedding.
I want to see
wedding.
the photo.
Yeah, it's very cute.
It's incredibly
There's only
cute.
3.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, 'cause-
what more do you need?
Yeah.
She was like, "Do you want me to take a picture?" And I was like, "Oh, that'd probably be good."
Probably remember this.
Commemorate it.
Or-
Yeah,
proof.
it was awesome.
And they look so happy.
We were so
under that
happy, and
tree.
it was really great. We talked to her for about 15 minutes, and she had the perfect things to say. Made us both cry. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we went out into Bozeman and drank some more beer and
Yep. Drove to the top of the mountain.
Gonna say went back to work.
Yeah. No, I think we took the rest of the day off. I think.
I think
there
we
you
did.
go.
Well, we told our
You deserve it.
Yeah.
we told our bosses that we had just got married, and they were like, "Oh, you should take the day off."
Yeah.
It's great.
So sweet of them.
Yeah.
So sweet of that.
And we were going
Very
to anyway,
generous.
but it was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
And people are still on us to have a party, and we will
Oh,
one
yeah.
day.
In
One
that
day.
backyard of yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the
only
backyard,
It's only
probably.
been 5 years, so you know.
Right.
Oh
That's
my gosh.
amazing.
I've started
be-
saying,
it
well,
will-
if they
it will
want to
be like
throw one
your-
for us, I would not oppose.
Yeah,
It will be like your
seriously.
vow renewal, but without renewing your vows. It'll just be the wedding party.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It'll be
love
perfect.
it.
Yeah.
Just a little rain checked.
5 years sounds about right. I think
Yeah.
this is
That's
the year.
This week or
Yeah.
this year, yeah.
I
Oh,
think
let's
this is
do
the
it.
year. Let's make it happen.
Yeah. We might. We'll
That's
see.
how. That's how we can get a whole bunch of people to Halloween. We can say, "Hey,
That's our wedding,
do
yeah.
your-
The wedding.
do your
Well,
party
and
there.
we do. We go to the festival every year pretty much on our anniversary.
Yeah.
Because it's late October.
That's cute.
So that's always our thing that we do. It's
I love
great.
it. Well, I can't wait for the party.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely."
We'll have you shoot it.
But
Oh,
that's
I
the
love that
story-
idea.
That's the little story of our road trip.
Yeah,
So,
so-
you know, during COVID.
And that was like halfway through, and then like the rest of it was our honeymoon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, then it turns into a vacation, huh?
Yeah,
was
and
awesome.
we had our dog
Amazing.
and our cat with us the whole time.
The whole time.
Wow,
The
you're
whole time.
brave.
Yeah, that was great.
And
Was
we
it
stayed in
good?
the camper the whole time, with the exception of we did rent ourselves a tiny little cabin near Glacier right after we got married, and we took 2 days off of work.
And
Those
we
were the
drank
only
a
2
whole
days.
bunch of absinthe, and that was real
We
fun.
did. It was really fun from Glacier Distilling.
Yep.
That was
yep.
very fun.
And then we got a little cabin for Thanksgiving in
Yep,
New Mexico
in New Mexico, right on the San Juan River.
Wow.
It was really cool.
with teepees up on the bluffs and everything. It was really cool.
It was-
I bet that was
It
cool.
was
It
really
it was
small
cool.
little town. Navajo Dam, New Mexico is the town.
Okay.
And it was this tiny little cabin. The first floor was about this big, and then there was a little loft, and that was it. We loved that little place. But a big yard, a fenced in yard, so the dog could run around without being on a lead for the first time in months.
Wow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You guys need to go back there and celebrate like a.
We do.
Anniversary
I
or
would love to
something.
go back to that little
If I
tiny
remember
cabin.
right, we cooked a nice Thanksgiving dinner. and
We did. We
everything
got a
there, yeah.
turkey breast,
Yeah.
and like we got some mashed potatoes. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was great.
Worked out.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys said 4 months you guys spent on the road?
I
Just
think
about
it's about
3.
3.5 months.
2.5?
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
you-
ours was
She
4
was
months.
4
Yeah,
months.
4 months.
Wow.
Where's the favorite place you went on your trip?
Oh, man, people ask me that all the time.
Other than the place you settled, obviously.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Obviously,
Right.
obviously. And I mean, my honest to goodness answer is I don't know why people feel like they have to leave the country to see something beautiful.
Oh gosh,
Because
yeah.
until you drive around this country, there's so
It's
much incredible landscape.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
and
yeah.
so diverse. There's no
so
other
diverse.
place, no other country that has the diversity like we do. Maybe Australia.
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, even North Dakota, as horrible and ugly as it is, had wonderful things to see.
Oh, completely.
It was really awful.
Yeah. So yeah,
really
I don't
windy.
have like a favorite. Like if you said, I can't even pick like a favorite beach or something because there's like different reasons for everything. So
What route did you take?
we went, I think the highest, well, we went across to Utah because we picked up my cousins because they wanted to come with us for a short leg. And so we went over to Utah and picked them up. And then we went up to Idaho, Montana area. And then we went east. We went to Mount Rushmore. That's
So
probably
South
like the
Dakota,
highest.
okay.
That's
We
South
didn't
Dakota.
go to north.
Yeah.
That was probably the highest
That's
we
smart.
went. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, like the
It's just
one
windy and
goal,
cold.
the one goal we had is like I want to be in New England in the fall. That was my
Oh,
one goal. I'm like
cool.
I want to
Yeah.
see all the trees in
Yep.
the fall.
Yeah.
Well, that's how
Yeah.
we were in the UP of Michigan. It was
Oh.
like, oh my God,
was
I've
incredible.
never seen anything like it in my life.
I mean, it's
Um,
insane.
it was
It's so
Beautiful.
insane. Yeah. And so, yeah, we went down around there. Like, we didn't go up to Wisconsin or Michigan. We went down around and up, and we went all the way to Maine, Portland, Maine.
Wow.
And then
never
came
been to
back
Maine.
down. We skipped Florida because we've been to Florida before.
And it's just so big. It's so out of the way.
I know, and it
That's a
is.
whole
And I'm like,
nother-
we've
that's a
been
whole nother
there. We
month,
went to
yeah.
Disney World. We're fine, you know. We came back around, and we went to, made sure we were in Texas by Thanksgiving because that's where my brother lives. So we spent Thanksgiving with my brother and then came back up. I mean, we stayed at family's house as much as we could around because save on hotels and
Sure.
Airbnbs and everything like
Right.
that.
So you
But,
weren't camping.
No, we just
It-
had
yeah.
like my Subaru
Wow.
Legacy and the four of us.
Wow, that's
Tetris
crazy.
is
Oh,
a
yeah.
game you play in that trunk. I'm going to
Yes.
tell you what.
Yep.
That's,
Yeah.
that's a skill I
And
learned.
a little roof rack goes a long way. It really does.
That's
yeah.
true.
Yes. And my kids were probably like 6 and 7 at the time. So, I mean, they had energy. And so
Sure.
I had these fold up Razor scooters, you know, those scooters. We had the collapsible ones that I could just stick in the trunk. So every time we'd like
Perfect.
stop at a hotel, like they take them out in the parking lot,
Just
they take
hit
them
it.
in the
Circles.
hotel room, like whatever. I'm
Go
like,
hit
just
it,
get your
yeah.
energy out because I
Yeah.
don't want to see it. And the hotel people were just so mad at us jumping on mattresses. I'm like, this is what it is. Like,
Yeah.
get over it.
Yeah, what are you going to do? Yeah.
Wow,
We
that's
came to party.
That's different. Like to be in the car and have to find a place to stay and do all that the whole time.
Yes. I'm glad I had my sister there because then we did both really good at changing off driving and finding hotels and finding things. And have you checked the I don't remember what the website's called. It's like Travel Obscura or something like that. It's like all the oddities
Yep.
around the U.S.
Yes,
like
I have found
where's
that.
the largest ball of yarn in the U.S.
Oh,
you know, and so
really?
you
I
go
love
instead of seeing
that.
like the touristy
It's really
things,
cool.
you
Oh,
see
yeah.
all these like odd things that you would never think of,
Yes.
but that are just all around the U.S. that
Yeah.
people don't see. And so we saw some cool
That's
stuff
awesome.
that
Yeah,
way
those
too.
things
That is
exist.
awesome.
I mean, they're real.
Or the
Oh,
Corn Palace in
man.
South Dakota.
Yeah.
Is that where that is?
Or the Cadillacs that are all like that. And,
Yes, or like the
wherever that was on
President
60.
Head Cemetery that's like in New England or
Yep.
something. That was so cool.
I don't think I've been there.
It's the most random.
How many Paul Bunyan statues did we see across the northern
We
United
did see
States?
a lot of Paul Bunyan, and there's many places that claim to be his home.
Like Bigfoot. I think everyone claims Bigfoot is where they are.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know.
we stayed in some pretty squatchy places. not
We
gonna
did,
lie.
but there's
That's
several
what it
of
is.
them.
Yeah.
But yeah, Paul Bunyan, there's definitely at least 2 towns in the UP that claim to be his home. And then we go into Wisconsin, and then it's like an even bigger statue,
Oh,
and
yeah.
they claim to be the
Oh, yeah.
birthplace. It's
Yeah.
like, how many places was he born?
Yeah,
Well, you
know.
can claim anything these days. I mean, just
Exactly.
put a plaque
Yeah.
on
Right.
it. You're
It's
fine.
been
These
long
are
enough.
full-on
It's not
statues of
fiction,
Paul
it's
Bunyan. Like as big as the big boy statue, except Paul Bunyan.
Oh, no way. I didn't see that one. I'm going to have to.
That's
I'm
in
gonna have
the
to go
UP.
on another road trip.
Go to the UP of Michigan. It's
Okay.
amazing.
I'm gonna check it
up by
out.
Lake Superior.
Okay, because we didn't go up there yet. So we still have like 5 states we haven't
Yeah.
been to yet that we're going to
Pictured Rocks Lake National Lake Shore is one of my favorite parks we went to.
Michigan is actually beautiful. I had never been there before this trip.
It
and
was
I
the most
like,
surprising
Michigan,
I'm
and-
you
assuming
think
in the
Detroit,
summer, right?
We were in there in the fall.
in
Okay.
the fall.
And
No
in the
snow on the
winter.
ground.
I mean, it's beautiful in the winter too. There's a lot to do.
I don't know. I bet it would be viciously cold up there in the winter.
In the UP, they have these little trails alongside all of the roads that have little mini road signs because everybody drives their snowmobile in the winter.
Oh, that's cool.
Like
Yeah.
like little stop signs this tall. And
Oh, I
little,
love
you know,
that.
little arrows and
And
street
it goes
Yeah.
right along all the streets.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'll go in the winter.
Nice.
Rent a
But- or the
snowmobile.
fall. I mean, I recommend the fall.
The
It's
fall
pretty
is
amazing
really
up there.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah,
have to check
we
it
loved
out.
it. It was the most surprising. Like I didn't think it was ugly, but I didn't know how beautiful and unique and interesting it was.
And you're like, oh, this is why people move here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to Michigan.
Yeah.
I mean, they have rocks that glow in the dark, and they have
Oh,
The
like
geology
the
up there.
they have
bioluminescent in the
beaches
water.
that
Yeah.
are like purple and red.
Oh,
and
wow.
Yeah, the
like
geology and
like
the rocks up there are
crazy stuff.
amazing.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Okay, I'll add it to my list.
Mm-hmm. And the Great Lakes are very interesting too.
And Lake Superior is far superior to all
It is the most superior.
It is the most superior.
It is huge.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So that was our trip.
That's,
Ish.
that's an awesome trip.
There's a million stories.
Yeah. I'm going to definitely have to do something like that one day. I've been all over.
I was going to say,
'cause
but Jacob has
for-
so many stories.
I don't really, surprisingly, because I've been all over for work, but it's usually flying into like a major hub.
Yep.
I'm
Okay.
there for like a day for like a meeting, and then I leave.
Yeah.
So I've been to all these states, all these cities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I have like
don't
not a lot
explore.
to say. Yeah, I've tried to explore some of the ones I've been to, like last time I was in like Los Angeles, I spent like an extra day there
Okay.
on my own dime and just saw some stuff around the town and
Mhm.
everything. But as far as like road tripping it and seeing a lot that way, I don't really have many
I
stories
think
at all.
it's
Yeah.
hard to understand how big this country is
Yeah.
and really understand how it changes. I mean, unless you're driving it.
Yeah.
I think even flying to all the different places, it's just so much tougher to.
You don't see the gradual change, right?
Exactly.
Right.
You know,
Especially when you're in and out, right?
Mhm.
Like you're in for a day or two, and
Yeah.
then you're right out. Yeah.
Exactly.
I may like go find a cool restaurant in the town that I'm in or
Right.
something like
Right.
that, but still, like
You get a chance
you're still
to
in
feel
like the major
vibe.
city, and it's not that different than the other major cities. and
right.
Yeah.
One day I'll tell you all about her leaving me for dead with the grizzly bear.
I did not leave you for dead. I said I was going back to the car.
You are still alive,
I'm going to the
so
I saw a very fresh, big paw print
That's true.
on a trail that there was nobody else around at.
I
And
love you so much. Goodbye.
I was like, okay, well, I'm going back to the car. And I went. I mean,
I turned
should've
around
followed.
and she's gone. She's not within
Hilarious.
he's taking
300
pictures.
yards.
I'm like, I'm
I'm
going
like-
back to the car.
the fuck she go?
she's like, I've seen way too many movies to
Yes,
fall for
I
this
know how
shit.
this
That's why
ends.
you've got the picture and I don't.
I have seen Cocaine Bear. I know
Right.
how this
Yes,
ends.
absolutely.
Exactly.
That movie is so funny.
Isn't it the best?
It is.
Oh, it's very good.
I'm like, I don't know if this is a masterpiece or if it's just laughable.
Right.
But
It's
it
both.
might be a little bit of both.
It's absolutely both.
Mhm.
Yeah. If you haven't seen it, you need to watch it.
I've not seen Cocaine Bear.
Oh,
It's
you
so
need to
good.
see it.
but,
Just the name alone.
Yeah.
I've got it on Prime anytime you want.
There we go.
Yeah.
I have seen a preview for it, so I kind of have a little bit of an
Right.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you need-
It's
imagine
exactly what you think,
I
but
imagine
better.
it's like a Sharknado or something like
I
that.
think it's
as
better.
far as
It's-
like
the
types of
production's
movie.
way better.
It's a little better than
Okay.
Sharknado.
Even the acting's
Okay.
better.
Well, and
Cool,
it's
cool.
based on a true story.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a
I
real
did not
story.
know. Now I
That is
definitely
true.
got to
Yeah.
watch this.
I'm like, I don't know about Sharknado, but I know Cocaine Bear is
Yep.
based on
I
a true story.
don't think Sharknado is based on a true story. So
You never know these days.
There is a
That's
new one
amazing.
called Cocaine Shark.
is that one based on a
Just
true story
mixing
too?
genres.
Well,
Don't know.
I don't know, but I have also seen some articles about apparently
Cocaine sharks.
them testing wildlife in the ocean for drugs because apparently that's the thing that
I mean,
when they dump all the drugs.
there are a lot
Oh,
of
yeah,
drugs.
I'm sure there's
yeah,
drugs
and,
dumped in
Just so many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One day
I-
I'll
I
get
glossed
lucky.
them over. I
One
didn't-
day I'll
it's
get
not
lucky
really-
and I'll stumble upon a chest of dumped cocaine that's
Maybe.
perfectly wrapped and still preserved.
Oh, great.
Watch Cocaine Bear, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
It's pretty
it's
much
good.
a 101 on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have a question about just your thoughts on what's happening here in Dickson. Like we've been talking a lot the last couple of podcasts about just the community that has been built here, the creativity, and we've kind of landed on that it's really unique. What do you think is so unique about it, or do you think it's unique?
I mean, I think it's unique, but I only have a one-person perspective in the fact
Right.
that I haven't been to like Murfreesboro or Hendersonville or like Mount Juliet. Like I haven't seen if or what other people are doing in other towns.
Right.
My perspective is limited to Dickson area and Nashville because I mean those are really
Right.
the only two places I go.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it has really, I mean, to see it grow, because I mean, I haven't been here since the inception, but I mean, pretty close to the beginning.
Just about.
When Morgan started that whole thing at 119 and the music scene being built up here and her just inviting artists to come make a home out of this stage that she
Yes.
built. And I think it's just really turned into a family
Mhm.
aspect, and everybody is so good at supporting one another and showing up for each other and giving constructive criticism and giving each other opportunities. And like, I think when people come in from Nashville and see that, they really see that we have something special out there. And that's,
Right.
I mean, I think that's why
Yeah.
people are drawn to out here. Like,
Agreed.
we love naughty input.
Yeah.
We love
we
naughty
do.
input.
So
but
much.
I think they're one of the people that we've just adopted into our family and just been like, come be
Yeah.
at home with us, you
Yep.
know.
Yep.
Isaac
Absolutely.
Yeah.
and Lucian, like,
Mhm.
come have a home with us, you know?
Yeah.
So I see that growing in that aspect, because when you build something and share something together and raise the tide together,
Mm-hmm.
it can only go up.
Yep.
Right.
It can only
Agreed.
go up.
Agreed. more pebbles
And
you have, the deeper the water gets, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
and a lot of people are doing that and offering themselves simply for the love of the game too.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
like I mean, obviously there's a hope there that you are successful and that you will make money or something like that.
Oh,
but
of
that's
course.
definitely not why people do it. They
No.
offer themselves up at no dime,
No.
right? Like they're just doing it for the love of the game to
Well,
help
and I
each other and
can't
stuff.
compliment enough Michael Shepard and the strides he has taken with the city
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
with
Oh, yeah.
downtown Dickson and everything he's just really working towards to really make this a music city in Dickson,
Yeah.
and make it downtown Dickson the hub of it. Like he's just been the forerunner of most of this, and I'm so proud of him for that.
Yeah,
I'm
talk-
grateful that he's doing
Talk
it.
about truly a voice for change. Like
Yes.
I had never been to a city council meeting in my
Yep,
life.
me
Right?
too.
And,
Yeah.
And now I
until
have.
I met Michael
Yeah.
Shepard.
We're like,
and
are
he-
we allowed to talk? Do we say?
It was
he's-
very
yeah,
interesting.
yeah. And he's the one who's like, you need to come out to the city council meeting. You need to
Yeah.
see what's going on. You need to be
Yes.
plugged into that. So, and then the fact that he's brave enough to get up there in front of the city council and give his speech and, try and work for that change. Because
Mhm.
I certainly am not, in that
Mhm.
way. Like
Yeah.
I'm a little bit chicken shit when it comes to like the whole
The
politics is
bureaucracy.
intimidating. Yeah, bureaucracy
Right.
is intimidating, right? So, a lot of respect for that, and then
Yeah.
just like also I actually was like, it is kind of cool to see what is going on in the city. What are they voting on, and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like a lot of people don't get involved in local politics, so.
No,
that-
politics are the worst.
And
Yeah,
was
but
a-
it-
they're so
it
bad.
was about as glazed my eyes over as it could be. And it's like, oh my God, are we really going to talk about paving 4 feet of road?
Right.
Like,
that
Like, is
conversation.
this what we're spending our lives on?
Oh my God.
For
Yeah.
30
Yeah.
minutes, we're going to talk about
Yes.
4 feet of road, literally. Wow.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if they can just set Michael Shepard free in Dixon, like,
Just let him do it.
let him do it. Like,
Mhm.
Yep.
he would bring in so much revenue for the town and
Mhm.
just draw people in from all over the place. And I mean, this city could just escalate in just
Yeah.
huge ways if they just set him free and gave him the
And
support.
I think it will. I really do. I mean, I think it's just the beginning.
I hope
Well,
so.
wait till
Yeah.
wait till I run for mayor, and
Oh, I love this. I keep dominating people, but nobody wants it.
I don't want any part of that.
I'll take your pictures.
there we go. There we go.
Make your poster.
yeah,
Are you still doing wedding photography?
Like I do it every now and then, but wedding photography
it's not as fun.
is just not fun. It's so stressful. Everyone thinks they're in charge. Everyone wants you to do something, and you have to just be like, I can only answer to the person who's paying me because that's what it is in the end.
Yeah.
Getting a wedding party together is like toddlers that are drunk, and
Let's
it's
herd
They
these
all-
like
they
cats,
might
yeah.
it's the worst. And so, I mean, I will shoot weddings. I tell people, I'm like, I will shoot your wedding if you pay a lot of money and it's very short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would prefer like an elopement. I will shoot elopements all day
Right.
because let's do a solid hour, 2 hours, shoot whatever. But I do not do 12-hour weddings
Well,
anymore.
I do have a very small wedding coming up, so
Well,
it
if
might
you
be something we
do-
have to talk
Yeah.
about.
I think
But
we
it-
should talk
but
about
we're
that.
talking like 50 people.
I
Like
think that
guest
sounds
wise.
amazing.
It's not going to be big. It's actually going to be at our beloved 119. So
love
yeah, it
this.
should be small. So we might have to talk about a little something for that
I
one.
was
Yeah.
going to say the
You're
other
gonna
thing.
need pictures.
I hope I
Yes.
get invited. I've never been to a private party. in my time.
I thought you
get invited.
volunteered to be the efficient.
I don't know that
Oh,
that
okay.
guest
I
list.
think you did.
that guest list is super short. We'll have to see if you're on it.
Right.
I'm coming. I don't care if I'm
One of the
invited. I'm
50.
coming.
That's the right attitude. Julie's like, I don't give a fuck.
See, the only reason I get invited is if
Right,
I
I'll
take
be there,
pictures.
yeah.
So.
I'm just going.
hey, you don't know who's
I don't
on
know
my
the
guest
date yet,
list.
but
I
I'm
know,
there
I know.
enough where I feel like I'll be there the right day.
Funny.
I will definitely shoot your wedding because that's the other caveat is if I love you, I'll shoot your wedding.
Oh, look
Sure.
at that. It'll make my heart go pitter patter. Oh, man.
I love it.
How are the kids now?
My kids are great.
Yeah.
My kids are great. You know I have 4 boys, right?
I only seen the two, I
You've
feel like.
only seen the 2. So my
little one.
2 oldest ones, I had my oldest one visit this last December.
Okay.
So he was here for a week. He's living in Arizona, going to ASU. He's 21. He's doing his thing. I have another one on a mission for our church in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
He's 19, and he'll be done in December. And so I'm hoping he'll come out when he's done too. But so, yeah, they didn't move here with me. So nobody ever saw them. People are just like, oh, yeah, Caleb and Carter. Like, that's who you have.
That's in my head. That's what,
And they're their own, recluse masters of downtown Dickson. They were just out with Shep's kids, Andy Rose and Sawyer, and just the four of them just like walking the streets, like going and buying their smoothies at House Blend and going riding the one wheel around, like they own the downtown Dixon.
Yeah,
It's so
I love it.
They make
I
it
was a city kid, so I love seeing all the kids around downtown.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to just like set them free and not worry.
Sure.
And they're having a great time.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've seen them together. They're all good together.
They're so good. They all take care of each other really well.
So true. We were out on the river this past Monday with Sawyer and Andy Rose, Shep's kids, and they just make it look easy. Take care of themselves. You don't have to really worry about them. Like you see them, you're keeping an eye on them, obviously. But like they just do their own thing.
They're their own people. They know what they're supposed to be doing, and they do it.
Good kids.
And they have their own things they want to do and like their own agenda.
Yeah,
exactly.
They're not waiting for direction all the time.
Yeah, and I've come to the point in parenting. Well, I started this early because I have 4 boys, so I started this early where I just look away. I'm like, because you sit there and you're just like,
that's how my mom was.
Yes, I don't want to sit there all the time. Like, don't do that. Be careful. Watch out. And you just gotta.
But you have to let them
be
people and figure things out.
That's how they learn. Like they have to do it to learn, and you can't be in the way of learning. So I'm like, if I don't watch, I don't know what's happening.
Exactly.
Like literally, I'm like, Caleb's 12. He'll be 13 in July, and he takes off on his dirt bike. We have these paths around our property, and he just throws me the walkie-talkie, and I'm like, just let me know if you get hurt.
And all of a sudden, a year later, they come back with all these street smarts and everything, and you're like, great. That's perfect.
He's doing amazing. Like he does wheelies and he is building his own jumps and he can fix his bike by himself. Like he's learning all these great skills. And I'm like, I have to let it happen. Like he has to learn. And it's one of the hardest things in parenting, but also sometimes you get a little too used to it.
You handle it. You definitely handle it well. I've seen some video that you've taken of it, and you handle it well. You're like, rooting them on.
I'm verbally supportive, but in my heart, I'm like, dying.
Oh my God, don't die.
My baby. It's so true. No, they're great kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's got the cat alarm going off.
I was going to say, what's he barking at?
Oh, that's the cat bark. 100%. I know the difference at this point.
The cat's an intruder.
100%.
On the porch.
The deep bark means danger.
Yeah.
It's in danger.
I like you talking about the gang of cats that's around.
Around the neighborhood.
I literally
like a
have.
little gang.
I have on a daily basis because I have a camera on the front door and on the back door, and
watching for cats.
No, just a general camera,
like,
but I get the cat feed.
You should put it on in here.
And I have there's no less than 6 to 8 different cats that walk across my porches, both back and front.
The back porches
on a
too.
daily basis. Yeah, they get on the back porch, and especially when it rains, and just chill out on the back porch because it's dry.
Yeah,
right. And so like.
So what are they drawn to? Like, do you have
probably each other, right? Like, well, whoever lived here before me had a cat for sure.
Okay.
Named BMO because it's written on my wall in there. I have an old chalkboard wall that wasn't chalk paint, and they wrote on it. And
I
can't wipe it off now, so I got to repaint it.
List it out. That's not his list or anything.
Oh,
yeah.
That's
I'll have to show you.
I'm going to look at that.
Cat's name was BMO for sure. But. I don't know if that's why they're here or not, but like I know now, like it's just like they're probably attracted to each other, right? They run the same routes and everything.
And they're feral. Are
they
feral?
Smell each other. Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
City
like
cats.
they live. If you'll look next to where the parlor is located, there's a house next to us that's dilapidated, and they all live under there. And then the lady that lives next to that dilapidated house puts milk and food.
Oh, that's why they're around.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yep.
So. They ain't going nowhere.
And then they see your hot tub and they're like, let's party.
Let's party.
And he's less crazy about another human coming to the door than he is like
The cat.
The cat walking
Yeah,
by.
he's like, he gets pissed.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
he's like, no,
We're not
We
getting
have
in.
all kinds of stuff that
My
lives
porch.
underneath our porch or our
Oh,
house, and I
goodness.
mean, because we're out in the woods and like similar to probably what you guys deal with. If
Yeah.
you have a crawl space that's able to get into, like our dog, always she's like sniffing the floor. She's always
There's critters.
up in arms about something.
Yeah.
And it might. At this point, we don't really know if it's usually something there or she thinks there's something there. She has
Oh,
a
it's stuff
good
there.
nose.
Or something was there at
I
one
saw
point.
2
Right.
armadillos today. Yeah.
I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're
We're-
no good.
So we do things about them from time to time.
Yeah,
but,
they got to
Yes.
go.
Yeah.
Yes. We had one named Gary on our property for a while. And
Ugh.
he
They're hard to get rid
disappeared.
of. Yeah.
Yeah.
They always have 4 identical young every time they
No
have a
way.
litter.
I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
And then once they reach maturity, that's when you know if they're boy or girl.
Well, I don't
Interesting.
wanna
It's
look that
gross.
close.
And they live like 15 years in the wild.
really?
Wow,
Yes, it's awful.
that's a
Not in
long
Tennessee.
time.
No, I hope
Not
not.
if they cross the street.
No,
Yeah,
there's just
right.
that many of them. So when they reproduce, I mean, it's always like if you see 2 together, you probably have 6 or 5.
Geez.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
At least 5.
Fun facts with
Terrible.
fun facts with Little Miss Red Puff.
I
and
hate
stuff.
them. They're the worst. I'd rather have anything else than them.
But we do have a groundhog under the front porch.
Yeah,
too.
we have a groundhog too.
Groundhogs are so cute.
We
They are cute.
we
He's
have
a
They
little
are
baby one. He's
cute.
only
I
about
love
that big.
I have a groundhog that lives under the neighbor's porch here to the right.
No way.
Yep, 100%.
Maybe the cats are coming for that guy.
No,
I love the small
he
town
comes-
that's surrounded
I
by
know-
woods because they also
I
have
know
it downtown.
him. I know he takes advantage of the cats because that lady that puts out the food, I have witnessed him eating that
Oh, I
very
bet
same
he
food
eats
out
it.
there. So he walks the path right in front
Yeah.
of the house here on the road and walks right along the edge.
Oh, they're not
And I
shy.
watch him go right under
Oh,
there
gosh.
to that. He lives under the house right next door.
Oh my god.
And I've caught him several times because sometimes I'm walking to the house late at night from the bar or something like
That's
that.
smart.
And
I'm
so
glad
I
you
get
don't
to I
drive.
get to see all the little night
All the
critters when I'm
critters.
Yeah.
making my little night moves.
Yeah.
That's good. I would
So-
actually love that. I would probably be friends with all of them.
Yeah, so I'm like I got it mapped out. I know the cats in the
That's
groundhog of the neighborhood.
Buddy.
like, what
That's
up?
really
They're like,
funny.
it's 2 a.m. Get to bed.
Get to
Yeah.
bed. What are you doing up?
y'all doing up?
And they just look at me like, what the fuck?
Yeah. You got a cloak on.
Some silly fingers.
Something's lit up on your body.
Definitely. That's awesome.
Oh man. So what's next for Thayne Media?
That is a good question. I've debated touring photography because I'm like, I got kids at home. I don't know if I want to like go out on tour. Like, I think it'd be fun to do like weekends.
Sure.
You know, like what Sutton does and Zach does, and just be like, oh, we'll do a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or something like that. I just love traveling internationally. So if somebody says, hey, do you want to go to Iceland or Switzerland?
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, please.
Yes, I'll do that.
Like,
yes.
just pay my travel.
Yeah. I will
Yeah.
also be free assistance for one of those
Right?
media passes if it's a really cool event.
Right.
I'll get my own ticket. Just get me a media pass.
Amen.
I'll help out.
I know. I actually have a list of people that are like, sign me up, please.
Yep.
Yes, please.
Absolutely.
I will hold your luggage. I will nanny your kids. I don't care what it takes.
I'll make sure your batteries are charged.
Exactly.
whatever you need.
Yeah.
I'll walk around like the what do they call the caddies?
Yeah.
Is that what they
Yeah.
are?
Like golf.
I'll
Golf,
have
yeah,
all
walk
the
around with
bags
all
on
this
me,
stuff.
The
yeah.
equipment-
I'll mule
the-
for you.
the
No
equipment
problem.
Sherpa,
Have all my
yeah.
lemon slices ready for my water.
Uh-huh.
There you go.
Hell, I'll even cut up some tomato, put a little salt and pepper, pack those bad
shut
boys
your
out.
mouth. You are hired.
Yeah, well, see, I know.
You
a
moved
little
yourself up the
sauce.
list there.
Oh my gosh. I mean, that's just where I would like to go so far. So, I mean, that's what my focus or kind of is in my purview of just, I would like to do some international travels and writers rounds because I know there's some out there. Like I've been talking to a few people about going to some international writers rounds and we'll see where those.
That will be.
You
You almost
would
did that
be a
with Key
lot of
West.
fun.
Almost.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Key West was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm already planning for next year.
What about
so.
like music
Hey,
festivals
we might be down
or
there
things
with you
like
next
that?
year. We've already talked about that.
Oh
Sorry.
yeah, we invited
Sorry.
ourselves.
Oh, to Key West?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we
I
might
see
see
no
you,
reason not to.
see you around there.
Basically, I've seen no reason not to go and
so
do
Barney
this.
was talking about the place that he stayed, and he was like, if we could just get a couple more couples to fill it out, we'd have the
Then
whole
we'd have
thing
the
to
whole place.
ourselves. And I
Oh,
was
there you
just like,
go.
oh, well, I guess we might be going to Key West.
Yes, I think everybody should go. Anybody that's into live music has to go. Yeah. What did you say before?
Oh, what about festivals? Like,
Yeah.
would you like? Is that something you've thought about, or?
A little bit, and I've done a couple of festivals. I actually, little fact.
I
when
mean,
first-
CMA is obviously a festival, but like,
yeah. When I first moved here, a friend of mine that I had just met at the time was the director of the National Banana Pudding Festival, and so he
in
kind
Centerville.
of convinced me to get on the board. So I was actually on the board of the festival
Okay.
for 3 years.
Wow.
Like seeing how it all ran
Cool.
from that kind of perspective, and booking the shows and everything
Yeah.
like that. So that was a interesting little
I bet.
peekaboo behind the curtain.
Yeah.
Yeah. And shooting festivals, I think they're fun. I mean, they're kind of like weddings.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, because
Lots of hands in the cookie
there's
jar.
a lot of hands in the cookie jar, and people. I mean, so many people have different rules along with it. Like I'm finding even with CMA Fest, like All Country News wants me to capture X, Y, and Z, but then CMA Fest has their rules of photo passes, and you can only capture a video of this person, or you can only capture this song, or you can only stand over here, or I mean, there's limitations and boundaries to a lot of things. So it kind of makes your schedule a little more difficult and complicated, and you're kind of needing an assistant just to know where and when you're supposed to be somewhere and what you're supposed to capture and
That
what you're
sounds
supposed to deliver, and
like a lot of logistics.
it's a lot of logistics, and it kind of takes the fun out of the creativity, because I'm like, can't we just be in the moment?
I was just thinking about the photographers we see all the time at Swanee that are in the crowd and taking
Yeah, they're just walking
pictures.
the
I mean, the
crowd
photos that
yeah.
they get from whoever they hire as their photographers every festival, they're incredible.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of visual stuff to photograph
Yep.
there. But I'm always seeing them in the crowd, and I just was thinking that'd be so fun.
Well, and typically those people have their own agenda, like depending on who
they
they're
might
working
be
for. Like
working
they
for
might
someone
have
else.
one person just capturing the ambiance
Right.
of the festival. They might have one person just
Right.
capturing this stage. They might have one person just capturing that stage, or the VIP tent, or so people have different photographic agendas,
makes sense.
when they go in, because they have to have certain deliverables when they come out.
Yeah.
So I mean, festivals, they're really cool and they're really fun, and I would totally do them, but also I
Yeah, you'd
I'm
have
in
to
this-
consider what
Yeah.
what the actual job would entail.
Sure.
I'm in this mood of I just want to create, and I want to collaborate with someone who also wants to create, and just see what magic comes out of that. You know, instead of being brought down by all these rules and agendas.
The man.
And,
Well,
the
that's-
red tape. And
That's really exciting. I
Yeah.
feel like that's a really cool place to be. So
I
Yeah.
think it is too.
very interested to
Yeah.
see.
where it
Well,
goes.
yeah.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah,
That's
congratulations.
amazing.
That sounds
Thanks.
great.
Wonderful story. And
Yeah.
like, you're going to be the
Somewhere.
The star.
It's meant to be.
I mean,
And
it is.
you're taking the opportunity and running with it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Love that.
That's
I think
really
it's the
awesome.
not saying no to anything,
Yeah.
I'm all about
for
it.
sure.
Morgan says all the time, "Make yes the answer." And
Yes.
I love
How do
that
we make it a
saying.
yes?
And that,
Yeah.
it's like I meet more and more people that live by that philosophy, and it's funny to see how far that's taken them, right? Even in my own life,
Yeah, for
turning to
sure.
like make the yes the answer as much as possible and everything, and just like you meet new people, you come across new opportunities, you make friendships you never thought you'd make. It's wild.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, there's the flip side of you always have to know when to say no too, and be
Yeah.
secure in that.
Absolutely.
Because
Yeah.
I'm definitely in a phase of kind of being overwhelmed with what I have on my plate. And
Yep.
so I want to go to every show. I do. I want to support Barney at everything. I want to support Jason Sutton at everything. Like anytime somebody's playing somewhere, I'm like, I want to go,
Yeah.
Jimmy's and Zero, front row. Like I want to be there partying.
And
but
you also don't want to be caught with like a little to-do wedding thing over here, and I should be at the CMAs
Yes.
doing this, right?
Yes,
and I already
exactly.
committed here, and,
Right.
so you got to be.
yeah.
That's hard.
It's prioritizing my time, but also prioritizing my energy has
Yes.
been really hard for me, because I want to be everywhere and I want people to feel me supporting them, because that is my ultimate goal, is that I want to be there supporting them. But I hope they know I love them.
Yes.
I will come when I
And
can.
you can support from afar, you know.
Oh, for sure. I'm like, I try to
we do it all
repost
the
as
time.
much.
Yeah.
And like and comment and do all the things that you can do. And
And I think that philosophy is more to like your life, in your life, not necessarily to everybody that asks something of you,
Right.
right.
Right. Yeah.
So
completely.
definitely, like, if you say yes to everyone, you'll never get anything done, right?
No.
Right.
I really
but I
wouldn't.
think it's more like, to your point about the fear and the, like, you know, normally you wouldn't do something because maybe you don't have the experience in it or something like that.
Exactly.
I think that's where, like,
That's the separation.
make yes the answer
Yep.
is the philosophy there, not necessarily like say yes to everybody who asks
Right.
anything of you.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
Absolutely.
You know,
No.
say
Yeah.
yes to the things that are going to make you grow.
Yes.
Or help you to grow, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really the analyzation of why am I saying yes or no? You know, if am I saying no because it scares me? Well, then I definitely need
Then
to
I'm
do
gonna
that.
switch that
Yeah,
too.
I need to switch
Yeah,
that.
let's
Yeah.
switch
But if I'm
that
doing
to
it just
yes.
because I have all this stuff I need to do and I just don't have the energy and I haven't slept the last 3 nights, I should probably say no.
Yeah, 'cause
Right,
if
right.
it's another stupid wedding.
Yes.
Right.
I don't hate weddings.
I know. I totally get where you're
It sounds
going
like that
from.
would be quite the task, is capturing a moment that's so special to somebody that, you know, they're so worried about, probably because most people seem to be very
Yes.
worried about their weddings,
Yes.
and making it perfect and wanting it to be perfect, and then being able to show that it was perfect.
Well, and everybody having their own idea of what's perfect.
Right.
And that's what I was
Right.
going to say. That's the issue, because then you got the couple, you got the parents,
The mother-in-laws,
exactly.
the
You got
cousins,
exactly, and
the
then like
grandparents.
guests who are probably in a lot of points way too inebriated, who are asking things of you.
Yeah, the two,
Like-
the two in the coat closet. And, right, yeah.
It's always a fun surprise.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so we're at an hour and 15. So I've been trying to do this thing when we start wrapping
Yeah.
up, to be like, any words of wisdom or closing thoughts, anything
Yeah.
you'd like
Yeah.
to share.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I feel like I should have something prepared.
No,
Yeah,
no,
that's
no.
We don't
prepare
we
at all.
don't prepare
Not even a
anything.
little
That's
bit.
the- this is
Okay,
Okay,
how,
then
yeah,
let's
yeah,
wrap it
yeah.
up with, I guess what the theme has been is just to say yes to opportunities.
Yeah.
Whether you
Yep.
are scared, whether you are inexperienced, be where you are with what you have and go in.
Yep.
Because you learn along the way, and unless you do it, you won't learn.
Yep.
So just say yes.
Yeah.
Yep. I agree with
I
that.
love that.
Yeah.
That's
I
really
agree with
great.
that.
Be where you are with what you have and go in.
Yep.
Love
That's
that.
awesome.
That's perfect.
Cool.
What about you, Laser Dragon? Any?
Oh, wait, what's my nickname? Do I have a nickname yet?
Well,
So much pressure.
I don't know. We could go off. I'm almost thinking yes'em.
No, it's gonna come to me. I definitely feel like I have a better idea of the direction that's headed.
Just send it to me later.
Yeah.
Send it to me later.
Okay.
It'll
okay,
happen.
yeah.
It's like that frog that frog purse I bought at the festival. I don't know what his name is. It's just gonna come to me
it'll
one
come
day.
to you one day.
Yeah.
I love
It'll
it.
come
Yeah.
to you
It's a
one
real
It'll be
frog,
inspired.
a whole hide.
Are you serious?
I have a picture of it. I'll show it
Show
to
it
you.
to me.
It's very, very,
Kinda
very
freaked out, but I'm
weird,
excited.
but awesome.
It
And he
is,
has a
Can't
hat
wait.
on.
it is super weird.
Stop. I can't wait.
And he's lined on the inside.
I should have brought him.
Yeah,
I should have brought him.
Oh my gosh.
I have to keep bringing him out because that's the only way I'll get a name. Anyway.
Yeah.
That's my thought.
Yeah.
Let's hear your wisdom.
Oh, wisdom from Laser Dragon. You know,
He's always got something.
I
love it.
I would agree with the say yes when you can, because there's times in your life where you just don't want to say yes. You know, you just are like, man, I am cruising along and I'm happy about it. But you know what? You can't stay that way. You gotta hit the guardrail from time to time.
Get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And see which
Get
direction it takes you.
uncomfortable. Yes.
Get uncomfortable, or you don't grow.
Yep.
You know, I mean, so yeah.
There you go. Mine
Jaunty.
would come from Resonate this past week, or the week before last, and that would be to if you put damp bread in your tent, don't put it on the floor, because you will knock it over, and then you'll have all the water
All
you
the
collected all over the floor of your
Oh
tent.
my
So,
Some serious
That's-
wisdom.
hang it up or put it someplace up
did not
off
know
the
that
floor.
either.
So,
That's so funny.
that's
That's
my
fantastic.
my little piece of wisdom from Resonate in the past week.
There's a lot of those. Yeah, we'll have to cover that
Yeah,
one
well,
next
we're
time.
good. We will talk about Resonate on the
Yeah.
next one. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Awesome.
What about you, little Miss Fred Puff and stuff? Anything
Oh,
you got to
man.
share?
I feel like I talked about a lot of things.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah. You can always
I
reiterate.
like saying yes. I
or
mean,
just,
don't. You know, I had a couple days where I didn't say no, and it was they were 2 fantastic days
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
all the reasons.
I would say so.
Little party fun.
It was anything. I wasn't saying no to anything, regardless of what it was.
Like getting on the river
Right.
and
Yeah.
having a
Yeah.
blast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A blast.
Yeah.
A blast. It was so fun.
Oh, I bet.
Shampooing your hair in the river.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, didn't say no to
none of
taking
that.
a bath in the river.
Yeah, that was great.
Didn't say no
Yeah,
to
we did. We took
getting
a
some
nice
food
little bath in
when
the
somebody
river.
suggested it. It was always a good idea. I mean, just anything. It was really great to
And it was
not
supportive of the people making the suggestions too. It's
totally.
Like, hell yeah, let's do
Yeah.
that. That's great. Come
Yeah.
on, bring it.
100%.
Exactly.
I love it.
Okay, and then the last thing before we close out, where can people find you?
Oh, great idea.
Oh man, my website is thaynemedia.com. It also coincides. I still have my family photography wedding website as well, which is thefamilyphotograph.com. But if you type either of them in, it goes to the same website.
Okay, perfect.
That's great.
And yeah, Instagram and Facebook is both Thayne Media. So
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Thayne Media. Well,
Awesome.
We'll post that in the
Yeah.
I guess the description somewhere.
yeah, whatever. Yay! If I was closer, I'd be pushing all those buttons.
I do. I definitely do.
Don't tempt me with a good time.
Right.
It's my favorite one.
Right.
Oh yes,
We can dance out to this.
Dun, dun, dun,
give it to
dun.
me. Yeah, we're getting funky.
Yeah.
Disco ball in here now.
Uh-huh, right.
We
Yes.
do. We do.
We need a so watching Trolls with the kids. I've never seen the Trolls movie.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Yes.
And then they also have the hustle button. Have you seen
Oh,
that?
yeah.
And then they turn into like the suit. Like, it's already an animated movie, but they turn in like super old school animation, and it looks like just looks
I
really
didn't know that.
trippy.
I would love
and
the Trolls movie.
it's
I think.
amazing. Gotta get a hustle button though. Like,
Yes.
and that sets off the disco ball. or
Okay.
something.
I
Right
love
here
it.
on the hustle.
Perfect.
Yeah. Anyways,
I
thank
like
you
this.
so much for being
Yeah,
on.
thanks
for
It was
coming
great
on.
for you.
Having me. This is
Yeah.
so
Thank you.
fun.
This is awesome.
Of course.
I'm gonna come
Love
sit
it.
in the corner for the next one just so I can
Yeah.
hang
Please
out.
do. We keep saying we need groupies, like
Yeah,
especially when
absolutely.
we have the music here. We need groupies.
Gideon did it last time.
Yeah, he did. He
sat
was
in the
hanging
corner.
out just to
He's
watch.
the best.
I love
Right
him.
off
I love
camera.
him
Great
too.
kid.
He's
Yep.
the best.
Hey, and for all you guys who are listening, thank you guys so much
Yeah, thank
for
you.
Yes.
continuing to
Yeah.
listen and continuing to support. We definitely appreciate it. And I hope you guys are having as good a time as we are having with our
100%.
guests. So
At the
100%.
Parlor Session.
at the Parlor
Parlor
Sessions. And until next time, guys, have a great one.
Peace.
Bye.